Welcome to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright. This show is all about honoring you as a spiritual being, having a human experience. You are here for a reason, and it's no mistake that you are here on earth right now. Spirit has guided you to this very moment in time, so you could hear the messages Pam is about to share with you. She is a multidimensional healer, light language channel, transformation coach, wife and mother, committed to helping you discover the tools and practices to empower you to live the best life you can. You get to choose the spirit path you take. You can connect to the spiritual guidance already all around you. Get ready to live a fully empowered life. This is the Empower Me Show.
Hello and welcome back to the Empower Me Show. I'm so glad you have tuned in one more time to this show. If it is your first time, welcome to this platform. I am here every Thursday from noon to 1 to really help you navigate this life called humanity, this human experience that you're having. We are soul in a body. So that means that it's up to us as humans to really cultivate and embrace this human journey. And so that's what this show is really all about for you, is giving you tools, tips, and techniques to navigate all the different ways that we go through life, and doing that powerfully and with connection to spirit, because that's what it's all about. So I'm here to share the stage with Sharon Maureen, who is also a life coach. She has been working as a life coach with women and their journeys and healing trauma, opening us up to who we are as women on this journey, and really empowering people to step into who they want themselves to be as powerful and loving people on this planet. So welcome, Sharon, to the show. I'm so glad you're here.
Thank you for the opportunity. And it's
Absolutely.
always a joy to be able to connect with like-minded women and to be able to share from a vulnerable and authentic place, not as a expert per se, but as someone who is sharing the journey with you and maybe has some insights that they can share. And so thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're going to be interviewing Sharon in just a couple minutes. Before we get started, I'd like to honor us by bringing us fully into the moment, because many times, especially in this time in history, we're very busy people. Life is very packed with lots of activity and lots of drama in the world. Some of us experience it a little deeper than other people and more challenging for some. So if that's you, definitely listen to this transmission, because I'm going to help us ground into who we are now and let go of the distractions that keep us distracted and kind of scattered. So as I do that, I'm going to use light language for that, as well as connecting to my guides and teachers and angels, as well as connecting you to yours. So as we do that, I'm going to close my eyes. I invite you to do the same. If you need to be focused on the road or focused on children or dogs or whatever you're doing, or at work, just go ahead and stay focused on that, but really tune into that heart space that you live in. Right here in the center of your chest is what's called the heart chakra, and it is an energetic point of light. And so imagine that you can zero in fully and completely on that space. And if you imagine like a candlelight or the sunlight or the moon or stars, and focus on that center point as you breathe in, that will be the best moment when you can access what is coming through me right now. Creator of all that is, I ask you now to fully and completely connect to all those that are listening, watching, now and in the future on any platform. And we ask that you bring your golden light of truth, wisdom, love, and peace into this time in 2023, December 13th. We now ask that you fully embrace the love and light that you are, and allow us to access that love and light right now. Anasadei nanayekia. Anasana yehi yamayekiaya. Nazanaya tenu anasanai. Honesana mayayana. Gunu asanehi anaye. Ganaye samaye ina. Gonezanaye. We ask the Earth Mother now to give ourselves your light and your love. Bring your energy up through the bottoms of our feet, up into our legs, into our torsos, through every limb, every pathway of the blood, muscle tissue, bone structure, filling up our brains, allowing our nervous system to access this light. Nazarat ne si tunu mama ne su baba ite tanaikia ukumama ishina maise na mama naki ana seneke. Ho te sa te nasi. Amen. All right, we're back. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Empower Me show. I do that every single time that I do this show so that you can access the light and love of your guides, teachers, and angels from your soul. Your soul knows that language, even if your brain does not. And your brain says, what is this sound? It's all right. It's needed to kind of step aside and have your heart listen. So welcome, Sharon, to this program. I'm so glad to have you. We'd love to hear kind of a little bit about your journey and how you came to be in the place you're at with working with women and women's healing and empowerment. Where did you start from?
Well, thank you for the opportunity to share. Like many, my journey culminated in my work with women because of my own challenges, my own traumas, my own suffering. And it is truly one of the great mysteries of this world is that it is those things that often catapult us into the very essence of what we are called to do. And I would say that my journey started really at birth when my soul translated into a human form. I was born to a teenage mom who decided to keep me and then have brothers and sisters. And through a tumultuous childhood, including multiple divorces, abuse, I learned very many survival skills. I learned the power of resiliency. And my heart began to long for some connection within my soul. And when my mom married her third husband, we moved to a small town, and I got associated with an organization that introduced me to Christ. And that's when my religious journey began. And then that evolved through the years. And during the time I was raising 9 children.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. And I believe that that was truly a soul's calling, something that was really burning inside me. Once I decided to have children, I was afraid that I couldn't be a mother because of what I had experienced as a child. But in the nature of who I am, being a Scorpio that I am with a Libra rising, when I set my heart to something, I do it with all my heart. And the whole story about that's probably for another time. But I will say that my third child was born with some birth challenges, and as any mother would do, I went on a journey to try to support him and find alternative answers. And that resulted in me becoming an herbalist and teaching natural health and wellness. And he did pass away, and I will share that journey, but he is now truly one of my guiding angels. He came to earth to lead me to my path, and now he's on the other side, and he communicates with me, he guides me. He's my little guru is what I call him. And as my life continued, my children began to leave the home, but my most recent one didn't leave until just the summer, so I've been doing this for a long time. I continued to educate myself, and I was just passionate about education, and also became very curious about the possibilities of an evolving spiritual life. And fast forward into my 50s and 60s, became a certified life coach, a hypnotherapist, a Reiki master, with a passion to really help women embrace the third chapter of life. And that's where I'm at today.
Wow, what a journey. Holy moly. Well, first of all, congratulations for birthing 9 children. That is a huge feat right there. I mean, it takes a very unique and special individual to be willing to carry that energy for these beautiful children to come in. It's really an important role that you play in that realm. And I'm so glad to hear that you're still in connection with your son, your little Buddha. That's awesome. That's
it's
awesome.
So powerful. I had a shamanic journey the other night, a drumming journey, and was very, very impactful. But he definitely came to me in a very new, fresh, and profound way. And he had companions with him, and they were both just totally undergirding me. And I felt so supported and so loved. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt that there is otherness. There's something out there that we get to understand in here. And that's what, to me, is what the human journey is about, is that making that separation no longer. It all culminates within us. And that's where innate wisdom and hope, faith, love, that's where it lives.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do you usually only work with women, or do you work with men as well?
I have worked with men, and I don't turn anyone away, but it seems like the relationship, because of the familiarity, what so many of us as women go through, there's a rapport that's built, a safety, a trust. But I have worked with many men with great results. And so I don't turn anybody away. I really trust Spirit to bring me who the Spirit believes is the one I'm supposed to help translate into the next level of their spiritual life, their health and well-being. And so there you go.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So let's go back to, okay, so you had your children, you had quite a journey with your son that passed. How long ago was that he passed?
He passed away in 1996. And I know one of the things we were talking about was navigating the waters of this life, the things that come our way. And never in a million years did I believe that he would pass at that age, because his journey, there were so many miracles. I mean, literally saw his soul come back to his body at one time, where I thought he was going to pass on. So it was a shock to me to experience that. And then a week later, I had a baby. So there was this culmination where life and death mingled, and they did this dance. And at that moment, I was able to have the power of the end. I could experience joy and I could experience grief. And this child that was born ended up being a beautiful source of healing for me. And the timing was, who would have dreamed that 1 week after losing a child, another one? But the divine knew there was an orchestration beyond my understanding. And since then, grief, the old school of thought was, oh, give it a year. No, grief is an evolutionary process for a lifetime.
It really is.
And it's not something to be feared. It's something to be embraced.
Beautiful.
And when we embrace it, the lessons that are there for us, the opportunity to grow in compassion and love, to understand beyond our humanness, to allow the divine to cycle in and through us out to others. But again, it's suffering often that is the conduit for that to happen.
All right. So obviously this was important to talk about because we have our first caller today.
Okay,
Joy from Everett. We would love to talk to you. Welcome to the show. Do we have Joy on the line?
Joy, are you there? You are live on the Power Me show.
Hello? Maybe? Well, when Joy can talk to us, we're here. We are here for you anytime at 1-800-930-2819, or you can chat in the chat line at transformationtalkradio.com for the Empower Me show. So, Joy, if you can get your mute button unmuted and bring your volume up, we can talk to you. So we're just talking about really being able to look for the joy, since Joy just called us, in what we consider a tragedy or our suffering, and looking at how we can be grateful for every single moment of our lives, even if it feels really like the end, or, that we're never going to be able to recover from something that we're dealing with. How do you help the women that you work with? You do one-on-one work, and then do you do groups as well?
I do one-on-one coaching, and I do group coaching. And how I help them is I've been able to curate a system that really addresses the body, the mind, and the soul. And given my background, and also that really touched me, sorry, given my background as an herbalist and then being a nutritionist, and then evolving into more of the energetics of healing, I've created a system that walks women through a journey. The system invites them to consider themselves. And I do think we're moving out of a traditional conditioned situation where women were at one time, their primary goal was to be a keeper at home. And of course, we're seeing more career women, but within that, they've also have to keep up the traditional roles because we haven't evolved quite to the point where we're mutually supporting the at-home base. So anyway, one of the things I see with women is their ability to consider themselves in their lifestyle. And women will often sacrifice themselves in order to fulfill their conditioned obligations. And they lose the idea that you can probably make it all happen, but just not all at the same time. And so I do that. Yeah.
So the traditional roles that women have played in the past of, and that's really, really shifted and changed over the years of, the whole world of, well, if you're a woman, you naturally want to birth a child. You naturally want to be a mother. You naturally want to be a homemaker and stay at home and cook for husband as husband's off to work and take care of the kids and keep sure that the house is clean and orderly, right? That whole world of the
Mhm.
role of women has changed pretty dramatically over the years.
Mhm.
And now that there are working women in the world, that was a whole other
Mhm.
system of, coming together to, kind of not necessarily prove to the world, but really prove to themselves what was possible. And
Mhm.
I'm also a life coach. And so I understand this world of, it's all about empowerment now. It's all about really helping you, the listener, to embrace everything that you are and everything you've been, right? Let's
Mhm.
talk a little bit about the healing portion of coaching that you
Mhm.
bring into your practice. We'd love to hear that.
Well, a lot of the healing portion that I offer, again, was things that I began to practice in my own life. So, in my life, where I began to have a lot of children, and I was an herbalist, and I was reaching out to my community and trying to manage my home and trying to maintain my spiritual connection, I found myself really um, burning out, um, overwhelmed, and I began to have anxiety and panic attacks and the things that go along with being out of balance. And so I began to just discover ways that I could allow myself to come back to my body and understand that my body was giving me messages and what were those messages. And so that's the healing part I offer, is helping women listen to the messages of their body
Ooh,
instead of pushing it away and justifying it and get told things like, we can't rely upon your emotions, or don't be so emotional. And those things may be true, but I think it's more advantageous to process through, to understand, give space for, and then tap into the intuition and ask for what the innate wisdom and message is. And so for me, I believe in stored trauma. One of the things I do is a process using some tapping and acupressure points, and then consciously asking for healing for the generations before, and then seeing how that is apropos for the moment that I'm experiencing it. And then I do hypnotherapy, which it to me is beautiful. And now I don't spend a lot of energy dropping back into trauma. I believe we can quickly access it and then create an anchor to help us move through. And I believe that when we drop in, that there is a place inside of us that has the answer.
that's
And
beautiful.
yes.
That's
And so that
beautiful.
hypnotherapy is a big piece of it. And then Reiki, I combine it with Reiki.
Mm.
And just, again, believing that that there's something outside that we may not see, but it influences us. And we know that women have more receptors for that essence that we can't see, but we can feel and we can tap into.
So I want to comment on that actually a little bit, and then I want to take a break and have you do a process with us, if that's okay.
Okay,
So,
absolutely.
so, so women, let's just look at this. As human
Mhm.
beings, everyone has this thing that Sharon's talking about, which is intuition. Every human being that's ever been born, okay? And as women, we tend to be able to access it a little easier sometimes, okay? Now, my husband is a man. He has really, really strong intuition, okay? And I know some other men who not so much, right? I also know some women that are not so much. So I really honor that path of women's intuition. And I also honor the path of men's intuition. And
Mhm.
like we all have the same stuff. We just get to
Mhm.
cultivate it in different ways. And that's my own personal belief and what I have been given from my guidance. And that's where I stand with it. What do you think of that comment that I just made?
Oh, absolutely. I believe that all of us have that chamber, that soul chamber. That's I call it this. And it's like if you want to visualize it like a mansion, and we get to decide if we want to move in and decorate it and sit in it and be comfortable and access that chamber. Anyone can do that. It is, in my judgment, something that we have to train ourselves because we are trained as a society, men and women, all humans, to look outside ourselves for information and for answers. Now, information is important, knowledge is important, but Ruiz Jr. said, is knowledge serving you or are you serving knowledge?
Hmm.
And I like that. So we gather knowledge, we gather information, and then we filter it through this intuition. And that is where the information and knowledge begins to make sense. And one thing I will say also that I believe very strongly is when we listen to intuition, both men and women, oftentimes what we hear and what we act upon is attached to an outcome. And there is where the disillusion loses. There's where we get confused. That's where the imagination goes wild. And then where immense disappointment can happen. So in my process of learning to listen to intuition, I do it for the moment, for the next right step, without attachment to an outcome. That brings a lot more clarity. Now I can hope for an outcome. I can strategize, but in the end, I have to surrender to the moment, to the answer I received and trust it.
I
So
love that.
yeah, and if you have time for a little story, I'd love to just share something along that lines.
So let's do that when we come back from break. And then
Great.
I'd also love to the listeners to the Empower Me show love to receive some tips and guidance. So
Yep.
it would be great if you can take them through a little process of, okay, she's talking about listening to my body. How in the heck do I do that? Right? If we can do it like, 5 minutes, 10 minutes even, we've got the time to do that. Something that brings your big process down to like a little snippet. That would be
No, I
very
would like.
helpful so that folks can really take something and go practice it at home. Do you want to tell your story now before break or after break when we come back?
I'll tell it real quick. I'm not going to make it long, but
Okay.
I wanted to say, I said I had 9 children. With the third child, who is the one that passed away, he was born by C-section, and in the preparatory process, I had to sign the surgery papers, and then they handed me another piece of paper for what they called a tubal ligation, because I was going to have a cesarean. My third child, they're going to get in there and tie my tubes so I can't have any more children. And, it seemed logical, right? 27 years old, 3 children, why not? And so I went to sign the paper, and the receptionist slid it toward me, and I picked up my pen. I went to sign it, and it was like my vice grabbed my gut, and a voice, "Do not sign that paper." And it was just shocking to me because I thought I was done. And then I just said, I pushed the paper back and I said, I can't sign it. And she was kind of like, are you sure? You know, we're going to be in there. And I said, no, I am not supposed to sign that piece of paper. So my intuition spoke loudly. And some people may think it's insanity because I said no, went on to have, 6 more children. But looking back, I see the blessing and then the birth of the child 1 week after he passed away. It was like, if I hadn't said yes, my life it would have been so different. There would have been such an emptiness. And I know without a shadow of doubt, I fulfilled my soul agreements with these little ones.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's an example of how body can speak to you. And we'll address more of that when we get back.
Absolutely. That's a perfect time to go to break. And remember, I've said to you folks,
Mm-hmm.
in every single show, your life is up to you. Well, here's the kicker with that, okay? Your soul, which is inside of you, has a mission, okay? That soul decided to come incarnate in this body that you have. So that's what I'm talking about when I say your life is up to you. Listen to this soul. And when we come back, we're going to listen to that soul. You are going to listen to your own soul. And your soul is directly linked to your intuition. So we're going to take a break and come right back. Okay. Welcome back to the Empower Me Show. I am here with my dear friend Sharon Maureen, and she is a hypnotherapist as well as a women's empowerment coach. And we are going to do a little process that Sharon is going to take us through, really tapping into the body system. Talk a lot about the body system, that it is a system within itself. There are many systems that run through it, including intuition. And she's going to teach us how to access our own intuition and listen to what our body's wisdom has to tell us. So Sharon, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to lead you through this process. However, you can do it on your own. You don't have to have a hypnotherapist. When you do have a hypnotherapist that works with you, you have the guidance, you have the pacing, you have the affirmation of and the witnessing of your process, and it can be very impactful. However, the power is within you. And I just want to keep in emphasizing that, because I think we live in a society where we're used to having other people give us information. I come from a fundamentalist background, and it was always somebody telling me what the Bible really meant, or something like that. And then when I began to trust myself, and I found peace coming, and fear dissipating, and an empowerment and a transformation that is now serving me in very, very distinct ways. So with
Lovely.
that said, why don't we just have everyone, if you can, if it's in a safe environment and you're not driving, just take a deep breath. And I'm going to count from 10 down to 1. And we are just going to begin to drop into that soul chamber. Take a deep breath in. And 10, and begin to feel yourself just relax. Your legs are feeling heavy. And you can stay seated, or if you're laying down, just aware deeper and deeper into relaxation. 9, moving deeper and deeper, and your shoulders are relaxed. Moving down to 8. Your abdomen is relaxed. 7, your pelvic floor is relaxed and your hips are relaxed. 6, loose and limp. calm and relaxed. And whenever any words come into your mind, just go back to the words calm and relaxed. And now we're moving down to number 5, and we're beginning to enter into that soul chamber, that very sacred place. It's where wisdom resides, your innate wisdom. It's the tablet of your heart where your destiny is written, your soul's calling is there waiting to be expounded upon. And now we're moving to 4, calm and relaxed, deeper and deeper into that soul chamber now. 3, limp, loose, even your jaw now. Begin to let it feel loose. Moving down to number 2, this very sacred place where your intuition, your mind, even your gut, they intersect. And it's in this special place that you can discover what your body is saying, what the spirit is saying. Moving down now to number 1. Calm and relaxed. And just keep a place of this special space memorized, knowing that at any time you can come right back to this beautiful place. And now I want you to take your finger, your index finger and your thumb on each hand and make like an A-OK sign laying in your lap. And this is your anchor. And anytime you want, you can bring your finger and your thumb together on each hand, and you will come right back to your soul chamber. And now I want you to sit in this place of knowing. And I want you to begin to scan your body. You start at your toes, and like a sunbeam, let it go up your legs, into your pelvis, and up your abdomen, through your heart chakra, and let it rise up through the crown chakra, the top of your head, and bring it back down like a sunbeam, scanning your body. And I want you to stop at any place that is calling for your attention. Now I want you to bring your hands to your heart. And I'm going to ask this question relating to this area in your body that has communicated to you. It has a message. The part that loves you and wants you to grow is telling you what? And as you receive this message, I want you to hold on to it. And as we come back out, and when you have time, I want you to journal the message you received. And do not underestimate the power of this message. It came from your inner wisdom, your intuition, it has communicated to you through your body. Now take your hands gently and move them into your lap. And I'm going to count from 1 up to 5. And when we get to 5, you'll be fully present back in the space, remembering the message that you received from your soul chamber, your wisdom, your soul. 1, begin to wiggle your toes. 2, shrug your shoulders. 3, take a deep, deep breath. 4, say thank you to yourself and to the universe. 5, open your eyes and welcome back to this space.
Oh, that was lovely.
Thank you.
Yes, so I
Beautiful.
definitely got information. Did you? Those of you who played along with this beautiful journey that she just took us on. So I'll just share what I received as I did that
Beautiful.
exercise. Went right into my pelvis, my sacrum actually, which is at the end of the spine, right at the end of
Mhm.
where the buttocks start. And it's that whole area in the hips holds the whole structure there together. For those of you who are wondering, where is she talking about? And well, first, before we even got there to that part, when I connected in with my soul, what I heard was trust. And I'd heard that previously. So trust, I'm realizing trust is my new word for the year of 2024. But it's already come in. So I'm taking in trust. Then when I got down to that area, and it's a little talkative right now. And what I heard was movement. And I went, okay. So then I put them together. So that's the message, is trust movement. And it's not just trust movement in my body, but it's really trust movement in my life. So anywhere in my life now that feels stagnant or that I haven't focused on it, that things aren't moving, then I can go back in to that soul chamber, as you talk about, that beautiful, yummy place that I love so well,
Mhm.
and access that. And definitely, folks, if you're not used to writing and you're not used to accessing that part of you, it's really a rich, rich experience of of evolving into the new person that is ready to come in for you. You know, you get to access that because you have said yes to this time and place right now. So thank you for that
Beautiful.
experience. And definitely, folks, we still do have a few minutes. If you want to talk to us, you can call us. Joy, I'm sorry that we hadn't actually been able to hear you. You can try again if you want to call us again. We've got a few minutes at 1-800-930-2819, or anyone else that's listening. We are here for you if you want to talk to us. In the meantime, Sharon, why don't you tell us about how to reach you and your work?
Thank you. Well, I am the owner of Twin Peaks Nutrition. Oh, I renamed it, so I'm going to start all over because I'm rebranding right now. I moved locations at back March to this little boutique area, so I am rebranding, and it's Twin Peaks Wellness Boutique. So I'm the owner there. So twinpeaksnw.com is my website, and my coaching website is Sharon Maureen.com, and either one have a contact button, and so feel free to reach out to me. I have a couple of events coming up. I am starting a women's circle if anybody's on the east side, North Bend area, starting in January. I have a backpacking retreat coming up in August. Yes.
Ooh.
So I took my first one out last year, which was magical. So we hiked in to a lake, camped out 2 nights, and did our soul work on the lake in nature. And so I am doing it again. If that's of interest to you, I walk you through the training process. We connect up until that point, and then we coach afterwards. So we coach on the trail. I love
Oh,
it.
I love that. I
I
definitely want
know.
information about that.
Yeah, it's wonderful, and it's a good motivation because it helps you train your body, and we work well when we have gentle goals, and then when we connect with nature, man, does our soul and shout.
So
Yeah,
you said it's a 2-day
it's
backpacking
got,
trip?
it'll be 2 nights camping out. The retreat we start in an Airbnb, and then we hit the trail and camp out 2 nights and come back and have a celebratory dinner together and part ways. So 3 days together.
Okay, and where is it going to be?
It's a secret location, but it's in the Pacific Northwest.
Okay. For
Yeah.
those of you in the Pacific Northwest that want to come and play, definitely let us know about that. So the women's circle, so women who want to be in the circle go to your website and get signed up. Is that right?
Yes. You can. I'm also on Facebook, Twin Peaks Wellness Boutique on Facebook. I have an event planned. It is focused on women in their third chapter of life. So generally that's 50 and above. And it's an area of life where in the past women, or people in general retire, right? Yeah, we work for retirement. But my hope is that women will work for fulfillment. They will discover new adventures. They will not see their life as winding down, but they will see their life as actually picking up all the pieces of themselves they've scattered all over and bring it back into this very beautiful place and get to live in playfulness and in adventure and with impact, which I know the women I work to, they want to make an impact to their last breath.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's lovely. So, cool. So, let's see. What else wants to happen here? I'm asking, this is what I do, because it's important for me to connect in. And any of you who are like, well, what is she doing now? What I'm doing is I'm connecting to my spirit teams. And I work with a lot of different beings that work through me. And I believe that we all can connect at any time to our spirit guides, teachers, and angels that are ready and waiting for us to fully and completely connect to them. And so I'm asking now if any more information wants to come in. Okay, so what they're telling me is to ask you, Sharon, what is the most important message, action step, practice for the holiday season right now? December through January, like we're coming into the new year. We're gearing up for the 2024. So what would you say is the most important thing for people to know and take with them?
One thing I've been thinking of for myself and encouraging my clients to do is be mindful of your pacing from event to event. And what I mean by that, so many times we are rushing. I've got this meeting and I've got to rush to that meeting. And every step of the way, it's like a whip, just whipping our adrenals. And it's robbing us of peace. But breathing through and even making the journey from one event to the other, one that is peaceful, easeful, with fluidity. And if that means you have to give yourself a little bit more space, which I really encourage all my clients to do, is pace yourself and give yourself space, not only between appointments, but just moving in a more mindful way through life. And it will give you a sense of well-being. And then the second thing I would say is rain or shine, hail or snow, bundle up and get fresh air. Just connect with nature, ground. There's a saying that if we don't praise and shout, the rocks will. So we might as well do it, but they already do. They already are shouting the glory of nature, the glory of the divine. So connect with the outdoors in some way, shape, or form, and move more mindfully from event to event.
I love that. I love that. And I'm going to add my little 2 cents here in with that, because I absolutely believe in grounding. And when we say grounding, you might know it as earthing. That's the way they're using that terminology now in 2023. But it's really, really bringing your consciousness into the knowing that you're 100% connected to all of nature. The earth herself is a living, breathing being. Some know her as a Gaia. That's Gaia. That's her beingness of herself. Okay. And then there's this globe called the earth, all the rocks and the fiery core and the whole world of it, right? All the things that live on top of it, of her. Okay. But connect in with the essence of her. And the way to do that really is to do as I did with you and as Sharon did with you, which is really to breathe first and then bring your consciousness down. Even if you have your eyes looking downward or viewed downward, that's going to bring your consciousness down to connect into where you're living on. Right? And then you can, if you want to get her essence, bring it down even further into the core of her. And you can just imagine what it feels like in the center of her. I happen to know there's these huge, beautiful crystals that we can stand on that live inside of her and hold her in place. And then there's all the beings that live within her, all of the nature spirits, all of the beings that live in the earth. You can connect in with that anytime. That's going to consciously bring it to you. Okay. It's important. Then we can bring in, okay, I'm ready to connect in with my intuition. How do I do that? Well, we just went through that process. Okay. Allow yourself to experience yourself. Feel what it feels like, starting with your heartbeat. And then what is that? We can extend that into this whole experience of self. Okay. Both of us are very skilled at taking you through these processes. And so I invite you, if you feel connected to Sharon's energy, please connect with her and help her guide you in any way that she sees fit to help you, because she's very connected to your intuition as well as you are. And so she can be your guide into that next level for you. I also can help you with the next level for you, whatever that looks like for you. Okay. Connecting you with your own light language, your own connection to spirit, your own connection to your guides, taking you through a program that I am developing called the Full Body System Wellness. That's also available to you. You can reach me at brightbutterflynetwork.com, and I would love to assist you in any way that I can. So please, please, please take advantage of all the support that is available to you. It is everywhere. It's everywhere on the internet. It's just type in whatever you want to look for, right? Type it in and something will come up for you to connect to. YouTube, that's another great resource. Okay. If you're a Facebooker, look on Facebook at all of the massive teachers that are there now. Okay. You are here for a reason. So really trust that and own that. It's your time. All right. Have a beautiful, beautiful holiday season. This is magic time, in my opinion. I love this time of the year. And for those of you who are going through struggles right now, please reach out. We are here to support you in every area of your life. We love you. We believe in you, and your life is up to you. So we're going to let you go for now. And I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Many, many blessings. Bye-bye.
Blessings. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Empower Me Show with Pam Bright on Transformation Talk Radio. Tune in to learn more about living a fully empowered life. Remember that your life is up to you, and you can choose the spiritual path you are on. There is spiritual energy and wisdom in everything and everyone around you. Listen carefully for what the universe is trying to tell you in every moment. You are already being guided along your journey. Call upon your spirit guides anytime you need help with anything. Know that you are safe in every moment, even if it seems that you are not. For more information about Pam Bright, visit brightbutterflyenterprises.com or email theempowermeshow@gmail.com. Thank you very much for listening. We hope to see you next week.